Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios in Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for Atlanta Business Radio, spotlighting the city's best businesses and the people who lead them.
All right, next up on Office Evolution Radio, we got Troy Hipolito with ReturnClient. Welcome, Troy.
Thank you.
Tell us about ReturnClient. How are you serving folks?
It's an interesting story. It actually came out of a need. My IT business, we did a lot of projects. We did Coca-Cola Enterprises, Xbox mobile games, a lot of startup apps, things like that. Atlanta's a little bit different in the fact that it's very difficult for the agencies here nowadays. There's been a trend where we have these very large companies, and then you have these very small companies that don't have budgets, and the larger companies actually hire within. And so for the agencies, it made it really difficult to actually do a lot of particular type of IT work. And so we had to reach out for sales. And so we had to figure out a system in order to do that outside of the Atlanta area. And ReturnClient, we built ReturnClient. So we did a whole year of beta testing and that sort of thing. And we found out that we're able to bring clients in a lot faster through the system. So it basically works off LinkedIn. And so it's designed for companies 1 to 50, 1 to 50 employees. Usually companies that have larger than 50 employees, they tend to have their own system that already works. And the individuals that are between 1 and 50 tend to need the right leads at the right time.
Right.
And so they don't need to have thousands of leads. They need to have 5 or 10 per day. And they need to focus their time just on those particular items. So we have writers, we have LinkedIn experts, we have strategy individuals, we help with targeting, all that sort of thing. So we kind of create a campaign for these individuals. LinkedIn has about 580 million, subscribers, and they get about a new subscriber every 2 seconds, or is it 2 subscribers every second? I don't know. I forget. It's one of those.
It's plenty for that size company. Right?
Yeah, and most of them are B2B. And
right.
So it works really well for B2B companies. And at the bottom line, it just saves you 6 hours a day. People can do that themselves if they actually went through the time and that sort of thing. But the cost-benefit ratio is probably not in their favor. So we kind of have a formula, and we change that formula based on trends, based on responses and that sort of thing. So
now walk me through what it's like. So is a typical client of yours, are they professional services? Are they manufacturers? Like what type of
Yeah, most of them are B2B.
So
and
B2B.
it can be professional services. It's a lot of people, consultants and companies like that.
Okay, so
IT companies as well, medical or anything that has to do with a B2B service. There's really 3 criteria. Number one, you have a service that people want. Because you have a lot of companies out there that got something that's just hard to sell. Number two, you can identify your market on LinkedIn. You know that market exists. It usually is, but it has to be done in a way where you have a certain amount of volume. The third thing is they have to respond within 48 business hours. Once you get a lead that comes in, people just forget after 48 hours. And so if that person is not eager to jump on that in order to close that deal, they're going to end up losing that.
So there's a velocity element that you have to act quickly, or else it just...
That's the name of the game of any of the B2B items as well. But we do have ancillary services that help you close, create the appointments and actually help close the deals too. But those are, leaps and bounds as far as cost and stuff like that.
So now, so say I'm a professional service and then I target architects and then architects all over the country. Is that the best thing, or is
it's really all over the world? It depends on where you want to target.
So if I'm targeting architects, and how about if I just want Atlanta architects?
Sure.
So that would work. It works hyper-local as well as national and international. It doesn't matter?
Yes. How we help target, that's part of the service. We can get very, very detailed to the type of company, the type of individual, the location, what companies not to target, and all that sort of thing. We also have a lot of what they call plumbing services is built in. Just always quality over quantity. For example, LinkedIn has certain rules. And if you break those rules, they put you on LinkedIn jail. And you can't do anything, and you have to beg and pull it out. So we do all the things in the correct way. We make sure that any activity is no more than what you would do anyway. So we make sure we kind of follow rules.
It has to appear as you as an individual are doing this rather than like a factory that's...
Right, because if you have some kind of... I don't know. I think a lot of these companies are using a plug-in or something like that. If you use those things, LinkedIn will detect that stuff. They don't like that stuff at all. LinkedIn's job is to sell you services. And so what we end up doing is making sure that they have Sales Navigator, which is a paid service. So you want to play nice with them, number one. And
that's not cheap. That's like $1,000 a year.
Yeah, it's $80 a month,
right.
But money is kind of relative. For example, if you are trying to do your own campaign, a typical list is about $3,000 a month. Then you have to prospect that list, and you have to go through the prospecting of all that other stuff. If you hire a consultant, it's $4,000 or $5,000 a month. If you hire an agency, it's about $8,000 or $9,000 a month. Well, that's a lot of money. And a lot of people don't have that sort of money, and it's kind of a waste if you're not able to target correctly and that sort of thing. And so what we do is we have a fractional of that cost and an entire team. So we're like an agency that helps you get what you need to get done for a very small amount per month. It's a monthly subscription.
And then and how does it vary? Like, is it by volume? Like, say I want 5 leads a month. Is that one price? Or no, if I want 100 leads, that's a different price?
That's a very good question. It totally does not work that way. It's a monthly subscription, and they can cancel anytime. And so what happens is that we can turn the faucet up, or we can bring it down, and it depends on the industry. So every customer is a bit different. But on averages, we provide a daily list of who to talk to. And these people are individuals that are within their network that we help them generate within their network. And so
my architect case, it's a list of architects?
If that's what you want.
Right.
Or if you have customers that want to help purchase your architecting capability,
right.
Or whatever. And so we provide a list Monday to Friday, and it has 3 things. It has who's interested, maybe, and then other. And actually, 1/3 of the other I convert into customers. So that list ends up being between 5 and 20 leads a day. Mm-hmm. Yeah, more than enough. So the concept is just concentrate on the people that are important. Because for B2B services, if they can increase 1 or 2 sales a month, it's through the roof for them. For example, an IT project, I own an IT company also. They can range in between $5,000 to $1 million a pop. And if you closed a $200,000 project, an extra one every 2 or 3 months, that's a big deal for a small company.
Right.
So it's not really about the volume. It's about communicating. It's about building that network. So the system that we've built, and I say system as in a group of people and a way of doing things, it's designed to actually build a network. So I'm more of an introvert. You can probably tell when I walked in. I'm really kind of a little nerdy guy. And so I have a hard time breaking the communication barriers and stuff. And there is a formula for that. And it's about being honest, being very short, being helpful. And so the way we do these campaigns, they're designed to kind of build a relationship over the 90 to 120-day period. So the concept is you have multiple campaigns happening at the same time. Some of them are targeted towards nurturing that relationship until they raise their hand and say, hey, I'm actually interested in this, Or they're, designed to, hey, I have this huge network. I have over 10,000 people in my LinkedIn network already. And I don't want to forget about them. And that's not about just the new people, but I have all these other, we have a campaign just for them, So there's a lot of different areas that you can target, and it's just about being focused and getting our clients to actually, allocate the right amount of time to respond to those individuals convert. If you can't convert people to close a deal, then you probably need to hire a sales guy
right,
on top of the system.
That's a different service.
Yes, on top of the system, yeah.
So now when you say you get 5 to 10 or whatever the number of leads are a day, does that mean that they've now connected with me on LinkedIn? Does that mean they're already part of, like, what?
Yeah, it's a little bit of this and a little bit of that.
What does lead mean to you?
A lead is someone saying, hey, Johnny, I'm interested in what you have. Let's set up a meeting. Another lead is something like, I have something that you might be interested in. And so a third of those people I'm actually able to convert because they don't know they need me until they know they need me. It's determining, the customer has to determine if, hey, is this person worth talking to or not?
So now when you say a lead, so you're delivering me a person's name and email, like what is a lead? What am I getting?
You're getting a name, and you just put your name in your LinkedIn Messenger, and you respond to it. It's real simple.
Okay.
Simple for the customer is complicated for us.
Right. And so then I get a message on my LinkedIn that says Bob is interested, or you're giving me a list?
So you actually get a daily list, and in that daily list you say, these are the 20 people that are interested. And so you copy and paste that name inside your LinkedIn Messenger, and the message comes up, and you respond to it. And so what it does is it just shortcuts that process where you have to comb through, you have to do the research to find that individual to connect, or to send an email or that sort of thing. And I don't want to go too far off, in the woods with that, but it homes in your ability to reply to the right individual.
So does part of your service, are you publishing content?
I can.
To create inbound interest?
Yes, and that's a very good thing. We've actually have new features that come up all the time. Every 2 months we have a new feature. Every 3 months we have a new formula for the campaign based on feedback. For example, what you're talking about is will help two-way traffic. Going out to someone and connecting with them and then having conversations with them is kind of a one-way deal. You're going after them. But if you're able to build up your marketing stuff for LinkedIn, and of course other areas as well, Instagram and Twitter and that sort of, and Facebook too, and that sort of thing. But mainly for us, it's LinkedIn.
Sure.
People see you. If they see you, they're more likely to connect with you, and they feel more comfortable with you beforehand. And they say, oh, I see this guy all the time. I'm connected with him. I do need this item. They end up coming after you. So that way, that two-way traffic is really helpful. Our system allows you to do that as well, and it's very beneficial. But content creation, that's another tier, or that's something that we can allow them to use, to kind of buffer some of those things.
And then what's the range of pricing for the service?
Exactly. That was my question next.
Well, it ranges like $9.97 a month, and it can go up to $5,000 a month. Yeah, but most people, they want to stick under the $1,000 range. We did a huge beta test, and anyone that was like $600 or $700 a month, they wanted everything for free. They're not used to like closing a deal,
right? And
so those are the wrong customers to kind of shoot by the hip. These are for people saying, "Hey, I know how much lists cost. I know how much marketing costs. I know how much a salesperson costs. And I'd rather pay." $1,000 or less than $1,000 a month than $3,000, and I still have to prospect the list, forget it.
Right.
And it's kind of a no-brainer for individuals that are serious about their B2B.
And then how quickly do they see results?
Well, we have an onboarding process, and of course there's an intake form and that sort of thing. We have meetings with them and the writers, and we generate. It usually takes about 1 to 2 weeks to get started. You get results instantly. We ramp up very slowly throughout the month. They get their optimal results probably within 2 months. So I would say it takes about a week or two to get started. As soon as it gets started, they end up getting some leads. But those leads increase over, 30 to 40 days quite rapidly. For example, I get between 10 and 25 easily.
Because for your IT business?
Yeah, and I do a little combo. I actually talk about the IT business and mention ReturnClient. And they're like, oh, I want that one. They say, I want to know about that one.
Right.
Because I don't like toting, ReturnClient because it's like I'm selling myself. It's that's kind of weird concept for me.
It's like a house of mirrors.
I kind of just mention it.
Right.
And it just, it comes up like, okay, that's what I want.
And then you developed this because of a need for more IT clients.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It actually saved our business. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it didn't just save the business. It expanded so much that we don't even work on that business anymore as much. We only take a few clients now. So we say that's not important. This ReturnClient is important because although we love generating, custom apps and custom systems, even games and simulations and things like that, we didn't have a direct impact in their business because a lot of those projects, they, how do you say it? They didn't necessarily market it correctly, or it wasn't a main line for the business or whatever. We didn't see the results of the impact for the business. With ReturnClient, it goes directly to the bottom line.
Right, and you're seeing them have an impact of more clients.
Oh, they're sending me clients.
Right.
You're like, ooh, let's go, If it works, they're sending me their clients' clients, so it's working out pretty well.
So now, if somebody wanted to learn more and have more substantive conversation, is a website for this?
Yeah. Just go to ReturnClient.com. That's RETURN client CLIENT.com, and on the top there's a little schedule appointment there, and you can schedule an appointment directly with me on that, or take a look at the website. Or even shoot me an email, and I can send you videos, white papers, you name it, testimonials.
And it's built, though, to get you new clients. Does it help in client nurturing for existing clients? And
we believe in a multi-approach. And so, yes, it does help you with your current clients as well, and based on touch bases, hey, I'm here, and that sort of thing.
Right, like but reminder.
Yeah, well, and you can post anything from what's new, to check this out, I'm still here type stuff. And those, go to your entire LinkedIn kind of network. Another interesting thing is that we're actually developing systems to go outside of LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. For example, a lot of individuals that connect with you on LinkedIn, they just won't respond to the messages. They don't use the tool. It's not the fact they don't like you. Well, maybe they don't. I don't know. But they just may not use that. And so we're developing a way to identify if the person responded on LinkedIn after a certain point, and then give them a little bit of break, and then shoot them an email, a really short cadence, a 3 cadence, something not too bothersome. So, because a lot of times people just don't see the first email and that sort of. And the third email should be, thank you for your time. Right. I'll leave you alone type situation. And then we're also looking for Twitter expanding out to that as well. So we do believe in having a system that's multi-platform. So you're having multiple campaigns happen at the same time, and you're having those campaigns happen on multiple platforms. And that's really, really powerful.
Good stuff. Well, Troy, thank you so much for sharing this story. And again, that's ReturnClient.com for more information.
Thank you very much.
All right, this is Lee Cantor for Sanjay Torre. We will see you all next time on Office Evolution Radio.